Big news for the Seminoles today as they add a big-time athlete to their 2024 recruiting class, and the floodgates may be just about to open on this class. Micahi Danzy, a local Tallahassee prospect, committed to the Noles today, and it is great news for Florida State and Mike Norvell. Danzy's a 6'1", 175-pound kid out of Tallahassee, Florida. He actually goes to Florida State University High School. He is a four-star athlete, projects probably as a running back, played a lot of safety. He's actually listed as a safety on three, but don't let that fool you. He probably will be a running back for Florida State. Maybe down the road, based on need, based on what may change. Certainly a kid that probably could play defensive back if needed, but I do think Florida State likes him as a running back. That's what I hear they're recruiting him more as. And based on his play in high school the last year or so, I think he's cemented himself there as well. I want to talk about him as a recruit more in depth, but first, I want to give the staff a ton of credit here for keeping a talented local kid home. Sometimes you would think it'd be easier to keep a kid home than it really is, but it can be very difficult in recruiting. Think about this. A kid spends 18 years of his life growing up in Tallahassee and sometimes just wants to get out, wants to get to a bigger city, wants a change of scenery. A lot of us go away for college. I know most of my friends did not stay home for college. They went away for a few years, whether that be to Florida State or Florida, Miami, whatever. They go away and then they like to come back. And so it is tough at times to keep local talent home. Florida State's not done what I would say an elite job of doing that. I think they do an okay job of it. But places like LSU, places like Mississippi State, other programs around the country, to me, just do a better job of that than the Seminoles have over the last few years. You can kind of understand why in some situations, but I do want to give a massive shout out again to the staff for keeping him home. Danzy is a top 150 kid on both on three and 247 sports in their individual rankings. He's just outside of that top 200 on the on three composite. And that's solely based on ESPN and Rivals just being way behind here. No shots fired at them, but I think we all kind of respect what On 3 and 247 does a little bit better as a talent evaluating process. And so I think ESPN and Rivals may catch up eventually, but this kid is a top 150 type athlete. Once he does pop up in some of those other rankings, I think he's going to be knocking on the door of right around that top 100 to 150. Really, really like this get for Florida State. UF is a team that was heavily involved here. He took a couple of visits to Florida, both in January and then in the spring. And their pitch to him was to just get out and do something different. His big thing was he wanted to get around, see different places. He was in Miami as well and wanted to potentially look and make sure that he was making the right decision. But told Billy Napier no, told UF no, told Miami no, and he did commit to the Seminoles today. I think this is big for a couple of reasons. One, Florida is doing a good job on the recruiting trail. We can talk as much crap about them as we want, but they've done a good job up to now. I know it's early. I know that we're months away from signing day, but they have done a good job. And recruits know how bad their season was last year, and most of them know how bad it's going to be this year. So no shots fired at UF. They've done a good job up to now. But what they haven't done is they haven't gone head-to-head with Florida State very much in this cycle. And when they have gone head-to-head with Florida State's done a good job of landing guys. And they did that here with Danzy going head-to-head for a four-star top 150 type athlete. Listen, if you're hyped about beating UF in a head-to-head recruiting battle, do me a favor. Hit that subscribe button. We've got big goals. And this one's probably a stretch, but we're trying to hit 10,000 by the time we kick off against LSU. We've got a lot of really cool content planned. As you've seen some of our live streams of NCAA going on, we're going to get back in July into doing more live videos where you guys can comment and interact and we can answer some questions on there. So make sure you're subscribed and you don't miss any of that. If you're a regular watcher, you're going to get our videos on your feed anyway. Just do us the favor. Thousands of you watch videos over and over and over again and you're not subscribed. Do us the favor of hitting that subscribe button. Let's hit 10K by the time we kick LSU's ass in Orlando. Okay, Let's get to what kind of athlete he is. But just before we do that, I do want to give some love to our friends over at Garnet and Gold. We've told you about these jerseys that you need to go pick up. No slaw at checkout will save you about 15 bucks. You can get the new authentic or replica jerseys at garnetandgold.com. Go today. Some of them are already selling out in certain sizes. Make sure that you get yours before they are gone. NOSLAW, no slaw at garnetandgold.com for 15% off. All right, he's a two-sport athlete. Danzy is incredibly talented as a sprinter. He's run a 10.8.9 in the 100 meters. He's also really good in the long jump. He's an incredible athlete. We talk all the time about Florida State's prowess for recruiting two-sport athletes. I know that track is very, very natural there, but he is an absolute burner. He's got great speed. I don't think he's got like the quickest first step, but he's got that long speed that people talk about. And he does a really, really good job of just never getting caught. Like remember how Dalvin, and I'm not comparing him to Dalvin. I know that's not the same type of running back, but how Dalvin just never got caught unless he had a bad hamstring. And then every once in a while, somebody might get to him. This kid's not getting caught. He does a great job of extending. Guys cannot get angles on him. And he is an absolute burner down the field. He had 1,800 yards as a running back his junior season in high school. We talked about, is he more of a running back? Is he more of a safety? I think the way that he's run the ball recently, it's not just, hey, get a few carries on this side of the ball, take a few snaps on the other side. He has entrenched himself as a running back, in my opinion. He's a very patient ball carrier. He does a really good job of waiting for blocks to be set up. Not quite as extreme as the mesh that Wake Forest runs, but if you just watch here, he's very patient. He's not afraid to let some things set up before he picks his lane, picks his hole, and gets off to the races. Good frame for somebody who is as good of a sprinter as he is. And you think about guys that are sprinters as just kind of being these frail little guys that, aren't able to take a hit or aren't able to dish out any punishment themselves. At 6'1", 175, he is certainly able to break his fair share of tackles and should continue to put on size for his frame, not only this season, but then once he gets to Tallahassee and he gets in that FSU strength and conditioning program. Shout out Coach Storms. Coach Norvell and his staff are going to continue to load up on talent. And obviously on the offensive side of the ball, they've done a phenomenal job of that. Both running backs should be good, but I don't know that we take a third in this class. QB's good, obviously, with Chrome and Hawk. I know that wide receiver could have some shuffling going around. We're in on some guys. We've got some others that we think are going to commit soon. But I think we really, really like where we stand on an offensive side of the ball. Defense does need to pick up. I think that you're going to see defensive recruiting pick up. You're going to have some big stuff coming down the pike. We've talked about some of that in our Discord. In fact, we told our Discord about this commit that was going to happen. And so if you're not in there, you can join that Discord for free. We do have some exclusive channels that you can pay $2-3 to get in. But if you just want to be in the free channels and you just want to get insight and info, stuff like this, make sure that you're joining that. It's right down in the description below. It's free to join. Come and hang out with about 2,000 FSU fans that are talking about the Noles pretty much 24/7. I think they usually cut out about 2 a.m. and they're back up at 6 going at it again. So go check them out. We want to get you caught up on everything going on FSU recruiting. Make sure that, again, you're subscribed so you don't miss anything that is coming right down the pike. If you want to know the very latest on FSU recruiting, you can do me a favor. Click right here to check it all out.